Hey, I'm Vicky.
And I'm Josie, and this week we are taking habits little by slowly. I'm excited about this topic because I feel like there's been a good amount of habits that I've been working on. And the new year definitely brought that on for me. I'm not much of a New Year's resolution person, but I do like, I guess they are resolutions at the end of the day. I just don't use that verbiage.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I like I want to say that if like feels like little mini quests or like challenges for yourself.
Yeah.
I really love video games and I really love The Sims. And if you're a simmer, you know that there's like a bunch of challenges out there, like the 100 Baby Challenge or Not So Berry, and you have to like do a set
Yeah.
list of things in order to like achieve
Yeah.
whatever to yourself. And that's how I like to imagine like
Imagine.
the
Yeah.
little like habits that I want to establish and that I've
Yeah.
like set for myself for the year. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, not to get too off topic, but when you say 100 baby challenge, like your Sims just popping out 100 babies
Yeah,
all in one go or 100 times a day?
a
Like,
100 times with 100 different men, and you can't do like aging cheats to like age them down, and all the kids have to like grow up really well, so like A pluses in school, none of them are neglected. Like that's the challenge.
okay, I think we can accept that in real life.
Yeah. I've never done it before,
Yeah.
but don't worry, I've tried. But every time I do, my like save like gets corrupted and it starts
Yeah.
acting really glitchy. So I'm taking it as the universe telling me that that's
You're not to have 100
yeah,
babies with
yeah,
100 different people.
yeah.
Yeah, got it.
It's not for
Got it.
me.
Got it. I think something that I have improved on a lot this year is not feeling like I have to start all over when I kind of slip up and break a habit. Because I think like 2 years ago I was very much the kind of person where I had to start a particular habit at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the year, and then if I like or like if I messed up on like a Wednesday, I was like, okay, well, better luck next week, like at the beginning of Monday. And I'm kind of just like, okay, we can just readjust the next day or
Yeah,
within the next few minutes, like it's fine. Like,
that's really funny.
yeah,
I 1,000% am really similar.
yeah,
But I guess I've also unconsciously started doing that
yeah.
um, too. I guess to be more descriptive, I am also someone who like I guess I'll have to start next week. And I've now started like just doing it when I'm thinking of it. So yeah. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
A habit that I've been like trying to establish is instead of like thinking of something for a really long time before I do it, I'm trying to be like not more impulsive
yeah.
because like if I know that I like it and I know that it'll be good to just do it. So like if I feel like making myself a grilled cheese sandwich and I
Yeah.
have all the materials to do it, like what's stopping me from just doing it? When before I'd be like, dinner soon. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And then like I'd overthink it.
It sounds like you're. This might be a little bit of a reach, but I feel like you're learning to trust yourself and your what your body's asking and wanting of you a little
Yeah,
bit more.
I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what it is. We have a little more trust in ourselves now.
Yeah.
um, Yeah, and I think for a while there, it also just like felt weird to pick up a habit like in the middle of the week too. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, this is something that like I want to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like before when I would like slip up on a habit, it was just like me like not like giving myself an excuse, but just kind of being like, well, there I go again. Gotta start all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I've learned. I think I've been more successful in my habits and learning that like life is gonna get in the way. You're not gonna do something 100%. There might be some people who can. There might be some people who can. That's just not realistic for me or my lifestyle. Um, and I think one in particular for me that I've been working on a lot this year has been running more and just like working out more in general. Do I do it every day? No, but I do work out at least 3 times a week and I run at least 2 times a week. And I have been pretty consistent in like meeting those runs. Um, maybe not like the mileage that I need to be running, but I run like what feels good to me when I do want to do that. And so I think that's a habit that I've been working on a lot. Oh, and the other one has been cooking at home a lot
Mm.
more. Do I still? I did order food on Sunday, but that's so much better than like me ordering food like 2 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Um, I love those habits for you. And I also like that, like, thinking back on what you were saying before about like if you like are supposed to run like
yeah,
um every Wednesday and Thursday, let's say, and then you skip Wednesday, like you're not going to beat yourself up about it, you're just going to like run on Thursday.
Tuesday, yeah.
I don't know why that feels revolutionary to me. But yeah, some like habits that I've been kind of picking up for myself is like I buy a lot of books and then I like read a little bit of it and I like don't finish it or I'll come back to it in a couple months. And in an effort to save money and to use like city resources more,
Yeah.
I'm doing like a no buy for books.
Okay.
And every book that I want to read, I'll check it out from the library. And it's cool because like it's forcing me to do a little bit more research on like maybe some older books and some books that I've been wanting to read. And look for those instead of maybe getting like the most popular book like right now. So
Okay.
that's cool. Not that I would ever actually read those books.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so that's yeah. And then also like going on longer walks with my dogs. We used to just take them like on a
Yeah.
15 or 20-minute walk. And now we're going like an hour or like 40
Yeah.
minutes. And before I would be very much like, I don't have that kind of time like in the day. But I'm realizing how much time I spend like on my phone.
Yes.
Where if I just like compile that amount of
Yeah.
time, I would be able to do something else, like a 40-minute walk with
Huh.
my dogs. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And while you were speaking right now, and I think this is gonna tie in, but like with the habits that you've been building so far, have you noticed any other changes in like your life simply by picking up these little habits here and there?
Um, yeah, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
I think more with the longer walks.
yeah,
I'm just like seeing better behavior in my dogs because it's
yeah,
like expending their energy, but also I don't know. I'm just liking the time outside. And when like I end up
yeah,
walking the dogs alone sometimes, like I'll have my headphones in and I'll be listening to music. So it's like
yeah.
nice to do that on a little walk.
Yeah. I think for
Yeah.
me, a habit, especially with like running, because I do at least one of my runs on weekends, I find the urge to get up out of bed a little bit more. Cause like
Hmm.
I'll like lay there and I'll like scroll if I don't have like a run plan.
Mhm.
But then I'm like, no, okay, I gotta start getting ready now. And I have also found even that because I used to take a little bit longer in getting ready, but now I take less time getting ready because I'm prioritizing running. Not because I feel like I have to, but because it's something I genuinely enjoy now. And I'm like, I'd rather use a little bit more time to run versus using more time to do my makeup or like sit there and scroll.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm like, but it's like one of those like things that has just come without even like thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And I think the other thing I think about when I think about habits are what are our natural habits. So I
Mm.
really like making sure that my home, like everything that's like in my home is pretty intentional with what my natural habits are. Um like where like I have a specific tray for like my keys and I typically put it like where I know I'm always going to leave them. And then at home with where I put like cups and utensils and all that stuff, it's going with like what my natural flow of the kitchen is too.
Yeah. I really like that because I have two thoughts with that.
Yeah.
One is that I was just thinking about that recently about like how if you go into someone's house, would you be able to like tell like a little about their personality and the way that they like function and like use their home? And I think so
Yeah.
because like if someone doesn't have a TV, then you know that this person like isn't like super into media. So like, or it's just because they don't like living rooms, and they
Yeah.
prefer like watching TV in their bedrooms. So maybe the TV's actually like hidden in their bedroom or something. So yeah.
That specific point. So I don't keep a TV. I don't keep my laptop, iPad, or anything like that in my room because I've decided to make my room a space just for me to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else that I'm existing, I'm doing it at the dining room or living room. If I'm
Mm.
watching TV or anything else like that. So I've set up my room to be a space where I get changed or where I lay down to sleep, or if I'm having a rot day, I'll rot there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've tried to create my space in that way, so that way I'm not in the habit of just staying in my room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah.
Um, I forgot my second point.
No,
Because now I'm thinking about the fact that I love having a TV in my
yeah.
bedroom. And that's like definitely like I don't know, what is it? Where are you, like a living room family or a bedroom family?
I'm a living room family.
And I grew up as a bedroom family, and my fiance grew up as a living room family. So it's like it's a constant struggle between
Yeah.
like, oh, let's watch TV, and then I'll like start walking towards the bedroom, and then he's walking towards the living room, and I'm like, oh, awkward.
I grew up in a living room family, but then when I moved out, I was like, I'm so happy to have my own space. I'm gonna be a bedroom kind of person,
Mhm.
and that lasted for like maybe like 2 3 years, and then I realized I didn't like because I think it got to a point where if I'm feeling a little bit lower emotionally,
Mhm.
that contributes a lot to me. So I realized that, like, okay, this is not a good habit for me to have because it's when I do hit those emotional lows, it's going to contribute negatively even more so.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you were just saying, or
Yeah.
what we were both just saying about like being like a living room or a
Yeah.
like bedroom family, is making me think about how like a lot of your habits are established by your family,
Yes.
and you take on, because like the way that we originally were talking about habits, we were talking about like goals that we're setting for ourselves that we're trying to establish into a habit.
Yes.
But like I guess colloquially, when you say like a habit, you would think more about like something that comes really natural to you,
Yes.
and maybe even like some poor habits, like people say like smoking is a poor habit.
Yeah.
Or there's this really funny Sex in the City scene
Yeah.
where Charlotte moves in with her new husband, and they're like, oh girl, and that's her first time living with him,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, oh girl, like is there anything about like living with him that feels hard? And he constantly leaves like used tea bags like just loose on the
Oh my
counter,
gosh, yeah.
wet. um so like, and that's like a bad habit that you
Yeah.
can't like, you want to be nice about.
Yeah.
So that's what that just made me think of. I know that was kind of a rambly, but my point was
Yeah.
made.
No, yeah, your point was made. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about when we were talking about habits. I'm like, there's two ways to talk about this, right? Like the habits that we're trying to establish and what our natural habits are.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I've really worked on, like in my home overall. In like placing everything in a very particular way. Or sometimes like I'll change things and then my roommate would be like, why'd you change that? I'm like, oh, because that didn't go with my natural like flow of habit of like my day. Or like, or if I ever moved anything in my home with my roommate, I'd ask her, I'm like, hey, like when you typically come in, like what is your, do you do this or do you do that? Because I'm trying to figure out where I want to put this particular thing.
Mhm.
And I think something that made me think about that a little bit more is I had seen a TikTok that was talking about that, and they were talking about baskets, about putting baskets or trays in particular places where you find yourself just like leaving a bunch of like junk, so making the space work for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That also makes me think of two things again.
Okay.
And I hope I remember the second thing this time. But that makes me think of like decorating your home for like style instead of function, and like clothes having that same like
Yeah.
verbiage. But like someone having like little chairs in their living room that you can't actually sit in. They're just sort of really aesthetically pleasing. Or like you constantly leaving your shoes by the door, but
Door.
you have no rack to put like your
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. Do you like care like when you move stuff around? Like, is the idea that this might not look good ever cross your mind and like stopped you from moving something somewhere that would help you in your day to day?
For the longest, we didn't have a coat rack up by the front door
Mm-hmm.
because I hate the way coat racks look at the front door.
Mm.
I hate it, just looks like so much clutter to me, but we don't have like an entryway closet. But then I was like, no, this is something that's going to work for my guest, even though because I'm pretty good at putting my stuff away
Mm-hmm.
because I grew up in a family where we were only allowed to have like a few shoes up front and like we would hang our jackets in the closets where they go. But I'm like, okay, other people's habit isn't that they want to be able to hang up their stuff, especially if I have guests. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of those things where like I had to think about other people's habits and needs. It's not necessarily just something I like, but I deal with it because it makes sense functionally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel
Interesting.
like that kind of did not
No,
answer the question.
that did.
Yeah. Okay,
That
okay.
did. That 100% did. Um, my second thing, and I actually
Yeah.
remembered it this time, was that it was some TikToker who has ADHD and talks about like not necessarily ADHD hacks, but like ways that like you should basically be more forgiving to your brain, and you shouldn't try to force something that's not working for you to
Mm-hmm.
work.
Yeah.
So like I personally have a really hard time like looking in my fridge and seeing what I have if it's not literally like right in front like a grocery store.
Yes.
So if like a leftover or like a jar or something got pushed further back, that shit's going bad. Like I'm not going to remember that that exists. So this lady was talking about ways to organize your fridge,
Yeah.
for like what'll help you remember stuff. And I did it like exactly like how she had it, and then I've been slowly evolving it to what works best for me and my fiance, and it's
Yeah.
working so well now. Like we very rarely have like ingredients or like condiments in the fridge that
Yeah.
like go bad because
Yeah.
we forget it's there.
My brain works very much the same way. So I don't buy like a lot of like pantry snacks, or I try to keep out like if I know I'm gonna eat something in the next few days or I want to eat something in the next few days, I
Mhm.
set it out so I remember that I wanted to eat that.
Mm,
Because things can get lost in my like in my cupboards because I won't see it if it doesn't exist to me. But similarly, when it comes to like food and groceries, in trying to build a habit of eating out less, because my natural habit is to make plans with friends and go out to eat and stuff like that. Um, I figured out that buying groceries for the entire week maybe isn't the best thing for me, but buying groceries every 2 to 3 days for what I know I'm going to eat in the next few days has helped me a lot too.
nice.
So, like you said, it's one of those things where I wanted to create this habit, but then I'm like, no, my natural self doesn't allow for that. So we got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something similar with me is me and my fiance used to just buy stuff that we liked from the grocery store.
Yeah.
That are like stuff. Like I'll be like, oh, I really love spinach. I really love mozzarella cheese, and I really love hot chips. So I'll just buy these things separately. And then when it came to like make dinner, we'd be like, we have all this stuff, but it doesn't come together to make a meal. um, because we'd get
Yeah.
stuff to make meals, but like it would be harder. And we just started shopping for recipes, and that was our new
Yeah.
habit now that we established. So we'll see like a recipe for
Yeah.
some enchiladas, and then we'll buy the ingredients to make enchiladas.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. And I think it's funny about these habits is that if you tell them to other people, it's like, yeah, duh.
yes. Yeah, as I was talking.
But habit making is such a trial and error thing, but I think we're getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.